Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for the first of hopefully many videos documenting me trying to grow Victoria Amazonica. You're not convinced, are you?
No, I'm convinced you're going to give it a go. It's just whether it's going to work or not. So they're really interesting, aren't they? Where did you first see them?
I first saw them at Kew. I've seen them on the internet for years, but actually in the flesh, Kew, about 6 months ago. And I was just absolutely wowed by them. And
I don't think I've ever seen them.
Have you not?
No, I don't think so.
Definitely worth going to see them if you can.
Yeah, and you're going to be growing them from seed, yeah?
Yes, I've managed to source 5 seeds. The success rate with the seeds isn't great, so hopefully we can get 1 out of 5 to germinate. But that's the challenge in itself. I've never grown them before. I've never grown anything like this before. So
do you know the process about what you're doing? So when you get the seeds, what's the process? What you get?
Yes, I've spoke to a lot of people that have already grown them and do grow them annually. It's not the most complicated process at all, but it is. You do have to follow certain rules.
So do you have to start them indoors, or do you need heating and lighting for them?
It's a fully tropical species, so they won't survive under anything below 25. I'm told.
Oh, wow.
And germination is even higher, so you're talking 28 to 32, right. Sometimes even higher to get them to germinate. So it's going to mean setting up effectively a tropical fish tank that's heated to 28, and getting them going like that. There's certain processes with the seed. It's very similar to a canna seed actually, in the respect that, looks wise and the germination process. Right. So like I say, they're about a pea size, very similar to a canna. But with a canna seed, you'll rough the edge to promote the weaker point in the seed to let the shoot germinate. Yeah. The water lilies have, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a little nipple at the top of the seed, which you have to scratch off or remove. Then you can soak them and submerge them, and then hopefully that will aid the germination
And then
process.
What's the idea? Are you going to be having them outside? I guess in the UK you can't really.
Well, this is the question. I don't know anybody that's managed to grow them outside in the UK successfully. Certainly not in the winter, but even in summer months. I've got a koi pond and we're constantly checking the temperature on that. And even on the hottest day, that won't get above 25, which is their survival minimum. So it's going to mean building a specialist water lily pond, heated to probably 28, I'd imagine.
And that's what you're planning to do in the area that we talked about in the previous episode?
Yeah, that's right. So I've got an area at the side of the garden, which when I open the garden is the entrance. It's 3 meters squared, which they do say is the minimum to house the giant. Yeah.
Excuse me. So do you know how fast they grow or how big they're going to get, or is that just something you're going to try?
The germination process, if you get it right, fingers crossed, should take up to 2 weeks.
You didn't just swear at the camera, did you?
No, okay. that was crossed fingers. Right. The germination process is up to 2 weeks. Once they start to germinate, I think they said that they fire out one baby leaf, which is completely different to what the main leaves look like. I think then after about 3 or 4 weeks, you'll start to see the first leaf, which is almost like a dagger shape. Again, that's not the true mature leaf. Yeah. And then after that, again, in another 2-3 weeks, you'll start to see.
Okay, so it's not that long before you'll start to see like.
No, so obviously I'll start them off in a small enclosure or tank, and obviously as they grow, they're going to need bigger and bigger enclosures that are heated until eventually they'll go out into the main pond, probably about
into the wild.
Probably around, depending on the weather, I think maybe as late as the first week of July.
So when it's proper summertime,
when it's warmed up,
And then you're hoping to keep them out all season, or you're going to have to obviously you're going to have that setup done then, I suppose, aren't you? So the temperature, I guess, will be constant all year, will it?
Yeah, well, like I say, it will be heated, so it will stay at around 28, as I say. But I don't know whether, and now this is the question, whether or not they're going to be successful outside in the UK, is if ambient temperature is going to affect them.
Yeah.
So even though you've got the water temperature right, and the root or the rhizome is kept at 28,
I'm sure it will.
Is the ambient temperature going to be okay? Because as you know, we have fluctuating temperatures even in the middle of summer, don't we? One day we could have a heat wave and it's 32, 34 down south, and then the next week you're looking at 13.
Yeah, exactly that.
So
I can see you building a greenhouse around it at some point.
Potentially, we'll see how the first one goes. I've got the conservatory as well, so
Do they need feeding or?
Yeah, massively. They're huge heavy feeders.
Okay.
So liquid feed. I've also seen a recent Attenborough documentary on a guy that grew
Is that
some
the Green
Planet.
Green Planet?
Yeah. And the guy that grew theirs for their photography and their camera work, he said that he was putting in bags of compost in Hessian sacks up to 5 times a week.
Wow.
So yeah.
Is that where they did it in the massive indoor pools?
That's right.
Set up. Yeah. I have seen that.
So yeah, feeding is a necessity.
See how it goes then. You're excited to see.
I can't
It's
wait.
one of the biggest projects you're going to have this year in terms of.
It's one of the craziest plants I've ever grown.
Biggest trials, isn't it?
Biggest trials. It's the most different plant I've ever grown. I've grown water lilies since I was a kid, various marginals and things like that. But yeah, this would be a real test of something. Patience, I think.
See how it goes. Yeah, patience, and again, it's trial and error. Like we always say on the podcast, it's just trial and error with gardening,
exactly
isn't it?
that.
And you learn, from your mistakes. And if it doesn't go right with the first 5, I'm pretty sure you'll try again, won't you?
Yeah, exactly that. And if worst case scenario, none of the seeds germinate, I spoke to the guy that supplied them, and he does actually germinate them himself.
Yeah.
So I can always go and pick up a germinated seed. But it'd be nice if we could germinate it ourselves.
Yeah.
And be able to say that we've.
I'm not getting involved. This is on you. This failure is on you.
Can you have 2 and I'll have 3, and then we'll see. Because you might be successful.
Chuck a couple in my fish pond outside and probably get better results than you. So that's exciting. Cool.
Very
exciting. A
exciting.
really good project. Right, yeah. So we'll obviously update you as and when Criff starts this project in the coming weeks, months ahead.
Yeah. So the seeds will turn up mid to late February.
Yeah.
So the process will start from then. Yeah.
So maybe in a month's time we'll do another little update about how Criff set up and started this process and this trial. And we'll check back soon regarding this. But keep your eye out for podcasts. I think we could be another feature length one within the next few days, won't there?
Yeah, definitely.
So keep your eye out and obviously check back on the other ones as well. And make sure you hit subscribe and like. We really do appreciate your support. And we'll see you again soon, yeah?
See ya.
See ya.